So as the leader of a boot camp, you're in an interesting position, right? Because you need to show up every time. You not only need to show up, you better be there early, and like you've got to keep things going. You're helping other people overcome what people in the Articulate Ventures Network, the group that I'm kind of head of, we call the voice of resistance, the thing that says, you can stay in bed today. You don't have to go run. You're a little bit. But you as the leader, you don't get to hear the voice of resistance when it comes to boot camp. So what is the experience like for you day in and day out, knowing you have to be there?
I think you're using the term leader strongly here. I think most of the people in class I am leading the class. I am there every day. I am coming up with the exercises every day. I am trying to make the experience enjoyable, but I think the term leader would be laughed at if I said that in class. But I get paid to be there. Let's be not that we're making tons of money off this exercise class. And, we try to, have a, big holiday party at the end of every year, or a party at the end of every session. And we're not doing this at this point to make money. We do make money, but it's not tons of money, but I do get paid. So I don't think twice about you're not going to think am I going to go work today? That doesn't cross your mind. You get up and go to work. That's what you do. And this.
I think you're tricking yourself. I think because you're doing two ends of the thing against itself. You're saying, well, it's not that much money, but we do get paid. But the money is what motivates me. But if I was like, is the money motivating you to show up? You'd be like, no. So there's something there that you've done that has allowed you to short circuit that voice of resistance. And I think it's an interesting thing there.
I think, yes and no. I mean, people expect me to be there. I'm going to be there. I think another boot camper, I was reaching out to folks prior to this just to get an idea of what keeps them motivated, because it was all speculation. I don't ask people why they show up to class. I don't ask them why they keep coming. Some of that information is extremely personal and so individualized, and I know it evolves over time. And Stubb had mentioned, look, people expect me to be there. I don't want to let them down. At the same time, I don't want other people to let me down either. So I expect you to be there. I don't think seeing me there every morning is motivating people. I think seeing people like LDB, who is Little Drummer Boy, who hasn't missed a day in an entire year, not a single day of boot camp, which that's crazy. He's paying and he hasn't missed a day. I get paid and I haven't missed a day, but I also get paid to be there. It's my company. I should be there. It's expected. It's not expected that everyone in class, I expect them to show up every day if they don't show up every day. I think it's the other people in class that inspire people in class. And I don't always think they know they're inspiring other people. So if it's either someone who obviously has a goal and is showing up every single day and is getting stronger or losing weight that year or getting faster, or it's someone who show up and just by looking at them, you can tell they show up to class, they can't do more than 10 push-ups at a time. But then by 2 or 3 sessions in, they can knock out 20 push-ups. That is it's like seeing people running. If I see a really fit person running down the street, that's great. If I see somebody who has extra weight on them, I think that is far more inspiring, because it's hard to run when you're in shape. It's a lot harder to run when you're not in shape. So I think having the different mix of people in the class is inspiring in different ways.
I totally agree with you. And I remember before I was in shape, before exercise was something that I used to do, when I would see heavy set people running, I would be like, look at them. They look so silly. I bet they'll quit, Not actually having the conversation with myself of like, hey, you're not out there running. And then when you go out and do it and you know what the experience is like of running when every single step has to be a conversation with you and as Mark Spiewak says, your conversation with pain, right? It's you having to say every single step doing it and not knowing, will it ever get easier, right? Because for me, I don't think exercise had ever been easy. And not that it's easy now, but I don't have the same pain. And so when you look at a person that is enduring that pain, at least as somebody that was out of shape and got in shape, you're like, yes, go, just keep going. You're on the path. And there's something important to recognizing that.
Yeah. And I think oftentimes, and I don't think this goes just with fitness, I think this could be applied to work as well, is that people have, or anything in life, these preconceived ideas of what their limits are or what's possible. And it could be someone, like the sweater example of, sweaters sign up for a marathon. Well, I'm going to sign up for a marathon. Whereas had sweater not signed up for once, a whole bunch of the other people in class would have never even considered that they could do that. Or we have somebody named SB. She likes to stitch and stands for stitch and babe, but not babe, maybe a different word. And, she'll yell out, we'll be doing something. She'll say, how about we do 300? Just jokingly. And I say, okay, let's do 300. And people are like, oh, SB. I'm like, it seems crazy. It is crazy until we do it. And then a higher number is what becomes crazy. And the 300 number is achievable. And so I think even things like that, seeing that in class, you're like, well, there are things that are possible that people just don't know. I think there's so much potential there that people have built these fictitious walls that don't even exist. And I think people overcome those walls in boot camp.
There's something I think that's interesting about the way that you formulate your concept of leadership, right? Because you're talking about not being the drill sergeant, not being the person that stands out in front. You're like, oh, they wouldn't even consider me the leader. And yet you're gathering people together. And so it's like a leadership from behind, or it's some sort of potential herd gathering or something. But I'm really deeply interested in this, and I don't have a great question to get you to open up about it, but I want to I want to figure out, is this just an intrinsic part of your personality? Are you modeling what you saw someone else do?
No, I think it's more intrinsic. I think it's more like being the captain of a sports team, or being, or a cheerleading squad, or whatever it is. It's more of being on the same playing level of everyone else, and coming to them as a peer versus as an authority figure, more of a servant leader than an authoritative leader. And I think it makes it more relatable in general. So I think if you go to a fitness class and the person who's leading the fitness class, I have nothing against people who work in the fitness industry. I think that I would end up, that could be an option if, my other career fell apart or something. I could totally get into that. But I think people who work in the fitness industry, that is their life. That is what they do. That is their passion. That's a huge part of who they are. I show up for boot camp. That is 1 hour of my day. I go to the rest of my life. I do my other real job the rest of the day. And so do the people in the class. And I think it builds that, it makes it a little bit more relatable, and it may be more achievable, because they're thinking, well, she's just going to go on to her actual job after this, just like I am. She's going to get up at 5, whatever time, show up, maybe even run before class, and then come to class, and then go to work. So it's not like there's less pressure because it's more relatable. Maybe I don't know.
Thanks for checking out this podcast short. If you like this interview, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and hit that bell so you always get notified about this podcast. And if you're really interested in conversations like this, you may want to consider joining the Articulate Ventures Network. To find out more, go to network.articulate.ventures.